Yo, what's up guys? How's it going? Arekkz here. Welcome back to another episode of The Verdict. And in today's video, we're speaking about the Avengers project. Square Enix's upcoming title that in truth we don't know a great deal about, but with E3 around the corner and Square Enix scheduled to have a dedicated press conference, then we're more than likely going to get our very first glimpse at this game very soon. And even without that, thanks to some of the information that's been doing the rounds online, we've been able to sort of piece together a rough idea as to what type of game this may be, and if this information is indeed correct, then it could be a very exciting project. So I figured a video to talk about that would be interesting. I want to talk about what we currently know, share my opinions, things like that. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. If you do, then a like would be super appreciated. Comment down below, let me know what you guys think. Have you heard about this before? Is this the first time you're hearing of this? And if you do know about it, then what do you think of the idea so far? Also, if you guys haven't entered the God of War PS4 Pro giveaway, don't forget to click that link in the description box down below. Now, to begin with, let's start at the top. What exactly is the Avengers project? Well, first up, it's a working title, but last year, January 2017, Square Enix announced a multi-year, multi-game deal that will take place in the Marvel Comics universe. And the first title in that deal is the Avengers project. Again, a working title. And while not a lot of information has surfaced on this, apart from a very short teaser trailer, which you can see snippets of playing throughout this video, broadly speaking, this looks to be Square Enix's answer to Destiny. And what I mean by that, to be clear, because I appreciate Destiny isn't exactly everyone's favourite topic, what I mean by that is the emerging genre, this sort of MMO-light, games as a service, shared world, online, shared experience, that sort of thing. Basically, it is a genre that I personally really like, as someone that has played a lot of MMOs in the past, someone that's sunk crazy amounts of hours into World of Warcraft when I was at university, to the point where I probably should have been doing something else. Point is, I love MMOs, but as I start moving towards, obviously now that I work more and now that I'm busy, I don't always have the time to sink into those games. So this sort of emerging genre that we're seeing, things like Destiny, Division, soon to be Anthem, games where you can still kind of get that MMO fix. You can still, go in, get your loot, grind for stuff, chase stuff, sink, crazy amounts of time into it, but you can also conversely play it in more bite-sized chunks so it can kind of fit a slightly more busy schedule, so to speak. Those kind of genres, that's essentially what the Avengers project looks like it's going to be. And, it's no surprise given the growing interest in this genre. A lot of people, it's kind of new to them, but the fact that Activision has Destiny, Ubisoft has Division, EA is soon to have Anthem, then it only makes sense that Square Enix is probably going to jump in with their own version. And if that takes place in the Marvel comic universe, then I am completely down. But that's still a little bit broad, so let's kind of dial it in and speak a little bit about what we know so far. First up, it's being developed by Crystal Dynamics, the guys that brought us the new Tomb Raider, and also Eidos Montreal, or Eidos Montreal, however you want to say it, the guys behind Deus Ex, and of course it's being published by Square Enix. So as teams go, they've worked on some really cool titles. Tomb Raider is a really awesome game, looks incredible, and I also had a lot of fun with some of the new Deus Ex games as well. I will say that as studios go, I haven't really sort of seen their involvement in games of this type, this genre. The MMO sort of light games as a service genre is a rather interesting one to get into. It is something that a lot of studios, well, I say a lot of studios, it is something that studios kind of have to adapt to in a very different way because, of course, those types of games demand a regular flow of content. And, of course, up until now, those studios have typically worked on much more kind of story-driven experiences. That doesn't mean to say they can't do it, but it is an interesting mix of studios. That being said, on top of that, we do of course have the short teaser trailer. It sort of paints this very bleak picture. We see a lot of the weapons or tools or, objects that you'd associate with certain heroes basically scattered among a load of debris, but it almost paints the picture that sort of the heroes may well have been killed or destroyed or, sent away somewhere, and I imagine that's where us as the players would likely fit in. They did also say, Crystal Dynamics said on Twitter at one point, that they were surprised that nobody saw some of the hidden secrets in the trailer, so there's obviously still stuff to look out for. But kind of diving a little bit deeper, thanks to some job listings, we do know that the game is going to be a third-person cover-based action-adventure game, and it'll also have social and shared online experiences. So again, the kind of stuff that is synonymous with this emerging genre. On top of that, there was a search for a lead level designer that specifically called out the request for someone to help develop fun and unique online experiences. And then on top of that, there's also the job listing for the combat designer, which requested help to plan and prototype game systems that directly link to a third-person combat adventure game. And then finally, on top of that, there was also a request for a job, or kind of someone within the job, to take ownership of large aspects of the multiplayer engine and to help relentlessly improve the online services. So again, all of that stuff is a little bit broad, and when we read between the lines, we can get a little bit, more information, but the official description, the thing that was actually released when the project was announced, is that the Avengers project is being designed for gamers worldwide and will be packed with all the characters, environments, and iconic moments that have thrilled longtime fans of the franchise. But the interesting part is the final line where it says, featuring a completely original story, it will introduce a universe gamers can play in for years to come, which basically, for any of you guys that have played these types of games, sounds remarkably like those sort of games that never end. Those, MMO-lite, social, online, never-ending games of service, the sort of things that work around a weekly reset. Basically, those games that you can play in, week out, content regularly drops, that sort of thing. So when you read between the lines, you essentially have a shared world, third-person action, cover-based adventure game with a focus on, obviously, the art, the universe, the environment, the stories, which includes various different game modes and campaigns in a fun, unique, online shared world. And all of that is, obviously, given the partnership, set within the Marvel Cinematic or Marvel Comic universe, which is incredibly exciting. Now, obviously, do bear in mind, at this stage, until we actually get the official gameplay reveal and we hear the official information on it, then all this stuff could still be a pinch of salt. But pairing up the, the job listings with the official information we have and, the direction that the industry is going, then it wouldn't be at all surprising if Square Enix took this game in this direction. So if that is the case, then I'm personally incredibly excited for that because, as mentioned, these are kind of games that I play a lot on the channel. I play Destiny, I play Division, I plan to cover Anthem, games like that, so I'm, well within that genre. And as mentioned, as someone that loves playing MMOs but perhaps doesn't have all the time these days to sink into them, then these fit perfectly within that space. I'm also a huge Marvel fan, and if you apply that to this kind of genre, it could be really cool. I mean, I used to play DC Universe Online, and you basically create a character that essentially mirrored one of the heroes in the DC Universe. So I played as like a really fast character that could run really fast, run up walls. And if you use that same principle and think about that in the scope of a sort of MMO-like type game, then you've got characters like, Iron Man could be your tech class with like gadgets. You've got like Spider-Man as like your web slinger. You could have like Hulk as your super strong character, or like Thor, different things like that. And if you tapped into them and instead of actually playing as them, because obviously I would be willing to bet you don't play as those characters, given that it's a shared world and you don't want to have like 10 million Thors running around. But the point is, if you use those as class archetypes and you then think about all the different suits they have throughout the different comics and cinematic universe and whatnot, they could be different loot items you could get. You of course have different powers you can upgrade to. You think about Iron Man, all the different suits he's had over the time. If you play as one of those sort of tech classes, you can have access to all of that stuff like that. So as characters go, as Marvel characters go, as the heroes go and things like that, they themselves fit really nicely into that scope, into the sort of class structure. And you then think about all the villains you've got and all the kind of enemies you can fight. They would of course fit nicely into, say, dungeons and missions and bosses and maybe even raids and things you'd have to kind of go out and fight as a team. And just being able to play with your friends and run around as superheroes in a universe, in a shared world, it would just be so much fun. So yeah, I'm fully on board with this. Obviously, again, at this stage, we don't know anything for sure, but I will be over at E3 next month with 2six, and we will be checking out everything there. So I'll definitely be hitting up Square Enix in the hope that they have more information on this, and if they do, and hopefully we see some gameplay, then we can of course do a follow-up video and talk more in depth about what the game actually is. But for the time being, that's what we currently know. So potentially very exciting. Again, let me know what you think in the comments down below. If this does come to be, if this is the kind of game we think it's going to be, then what do you guys think about the idea? Is this something you could get behind? Is this something you would love to get involved in? And if that is the case, then what hero or class, so to speak, do you think you would sort of align with? I, for one, think, as a fan of Thor, I'd probably want to play with someone that aligns with that, or maybe some kind of web slinger, but either way, let me know. For the time being, that's it. That's another episode of The Verdict. Those are my thoughts so far. That's what we know. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. Catch you next time. Peace out.